What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Working with Bobby. As you can see, guess who is back under the shop? If y'all watched my previous video when I was modifying that piece of metal to fix my engine hoist, you already know this. It's crazy cold out here right now, so I had to go ahead and light the heater so I can stay warm. And I got the rubber hoses getting warm. That way they're more pliable. But this one I'm gonna put on there. I ordered this from, I want to say it was, I think I got it from Amazon. But it's a little small fuel gauge or whatever, so I can see my my pressures. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eliminate this foolishness that I was in a rush to do. Even if it had worked, I still would have redid it because I just don't like how it looked. Yeah, I'm trying to do the budget thing because I have no other choice. But if something just ain't looking clean to me, I got a problem with it, man. I got to make it this right. This was the last thing I did to this car before I had gave up on it. And I just pushed it out, and I had other work that I had to do, which I told you all about already. So what I'm trying to do is get back on my car and see if I can address my fuel flooding issues. And I hope that I can get it running like it's supposed to tonight before I get ready to take my daughter and my wife car back home. But if it don't work out, then we'll move on to the next step, which will most likely be an intake manifold. And the reason I say that is because I had this manifold ported, you know, kind of like, you know, just cleaning up the runners, making it, you know, a little smooth. I really don't know if that's the actual issue, but if it's pulling too much on the runners and the carburetor reacting to the excessive vacuum or whatever that's under the base plate of the carburetor, then it's going to create excessive vacuum on the inside of it. So I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be right. Comment below or whatever if you got any ideas, or if you know exactly what would cause that sort of issue. But for right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to address this fuel deal here. I'm gonna keep the regulator in it so I can look at my pressures. And then I'm gonna keep my filter in it, of course, because I need that to make sure I got clean fuel getting up to the carburetor. But that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all set up on the tripod, and I'm gonna warm my hands a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take all this stuff here off, and then I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put the gauge, and I'm gonna run whole no fuel line. A rubber hose up to the carburetor again. But technically, this stuff, it was new too. I just had to hack it up to get all this here to fit in there with all them joints and reducers and elbows. But I'm gonna take that back off because I don't like how it look. All right, y'all, change the plan, and I'm gonna tell you why. I had a thought. I'm gonna flip it around and show you what I'm talking about. Flip this camera around. This is what I had on there. Well, some of it, because I had to put some of it back. Elbow, and then this, I got to turn it the way the light don't put such a glare on it. This is just your standard little, you know, cheap, however much dollar fuel pressure regulator. You can get these from the part stores. That's the part number on it if you want to try it for yourself. It has an in and an out. Make sure you have it oriented the right way. But it's sitting on this parts washer right now for a reason. I want to see exactly what this pump putting out. So I got the gauge on here. And what I'm gonna do is it ain't gonna run because I still got the floats like way down from the last time they messed with this car. But I'm not necessarily trying to get the car running tonight. I just want to verify what fuel pressure is. So I'm gonna spin it over, and if it holds, I want to see what my pressure goes up to straight from the pump. So what I did was I just left that rubber hose on, added the gauge in, and looped it around, and left one elbow in to go back to the carburetor after the filter, of course. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to probably put it on the tripod to get it to record it if I can. And I'm gonna spin the key over and then get out here and see what fuel pressure look like. So we're gonna verify what this pump doing. So just stay tuned. All right, y'all, I got the camera set on the gauge. I'm gonna go ahead and spin the key. Well, spin the engine over, and I'm gonna have to look back at the footage to see what the gauge had said since I'm out here by myself. So y'all watch it along with me. see it's leaking down, but it went up past 5, so it must have got to about, I'm guessing it probably got to about 7. But I have to look back at it to see what it actually read. All right, y'all. If you saw what I saw, I think I need to put that regulator back on there. The young lady at the parts store that I bought it from, she told me that the spec for that fuel pump, that mechanical pump, was from 4.5 PSI to as much as 9. And I saw it got up to about 8 or 9. I think it was 8. Yeah, I think it was like 8, if my memory served me right. So that's way too much for a carburetor. I mean, if it was TBI, yeah, 8, 9, 10 PSI is great. Of course, you know, your EFI setups is like anywhere from 45 to as much as 60 PSI. But for a carburetor, you don't need much more than 5.5, maybe 6 PSI at the most of fuel coming in. So that's why I had the flooding issue. But what I don't understand is when I had the regulator on there without the gauge, why was it still doing it? So what I'm going to do is the next time I come back down here, because I got to get ready to go. My wife got to work tonight, so I got to get her car back home. But the next time I get back down here, what I'm going to try to do is add the regulator to it and set it to 5 PSI and see if that gauge, you know, reads 5 PSI. If the fuel pressure is good, then my next step is most likely going to be either the intake, or I'm going to have to, well, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna miss no intake, but I'll figure out what I got to do next. But at least I'm doing the right thing by verifying fuel pressure. That's it. It's cold. I'm gonna have to update y'all another time on what I said I was gonna do as far as plans and whatnot with this car, because it involves an LS. I'll tell you that much. I'm trying to get this running now, but it involves an LS. So I'm gonna go into detail more about that later. But it's cold. I'm about to shut this shop down, cut these lights off, and lock everything up. But as I always tell y'all, be encouraged, be blessed, keep wrenching. Y'all have a good night.